we were doing trusteeship council. Okay, when the UN was formed, many countries were not free and were affected by war. Okay, that's the reason TC was established too. So see, when United Nation was formed immediately after Second World War. Okay, so this when this formation was done, at that time most of the countries were definitely affected because of the war, isn't it? And which was the country which was most affected by it? Who will tell me? Which country was most affected by the Second World War?
Japan.
Very good. Very good. Why?
Ma'am, because of the atomic bombing.
Yes, atomic bombing at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Very good. Okay, functions. Look after countries under foreign rule, help them get self-governments. As most countries are now free, Trustship Council meets only when required. Okay, so this Trustship Council meets only whenever it is required, because if you will see, this is the function of the Trustship Council. Okay, what they do, they help get the self-governments. Okay, because now see, if you compare today's duration and compare with the duration, the timing when the Second World War had ended, so now comparatively most of the countries are free and they can have their self-government, isn't it? Fifth is the International Court of Justice, that is ICJ. Okay, it has number one, 15 judges, different countries elected by General Assembly and Security Council. Number two, each judge is required to have 9 years of experience, 9 years of term. Please underline. You remember this 15 judges we had studied before also? Who will tell me when did we study this? When was this mentioned, 15 judges?
Ma'am, in legislature.
Ma'am, in the judiciary.
Okay, but now in UN only we had studied no United Nations. Who was these 15 judges? Who are the 15 people? It is there in the first page. Refer to it, children. Okay. Next is functions. The court settles dispute brought by member nations. It gives legal advice to other UN organs. Okay, so this is basically the primary function. What it is doing, it is settling the dispute which is brought up by the member of each nation. For example, any nation approaches to the UN with their dispute with any neighboring country or any country. So what happens is UN is responsible in settling the disputes. That is the International Court of Justice. Okay, along with settling the dispute, what do they do? They give legal advice also, right, to the UN organs. You remember we had studied about the UN organs? Yes, children? You all remember? Yes. Okay. Next is, the sixth is the Secretary. Chief administrative organ of the UN. Who is the Secretary? He is the Chief Administrative the UN. Headed by Secretary General and elected by whom? By General Assembly for 5 years. Okay. And it has a staff of how many workers? Yes. It has a staff of how many workers?
16,000.
Very good. 16,000 workers. And these 16,000 workers are from how many countries?
170.
170 countries. Can you just imagine so many people are involved in it? Carries out day-to-day activities of the UN, that is United Nations organization. Okay? So that's the reason, you can imagine how hard the United Nations is working to make sure that there is peace and prosperity in the entire world. And that's the reason they are successful in attaining their aims and objectives. Because of that, we did not have the Third World War, right? Because this shows that they are actively doing their duties. The Secretary General organizes conferences. Please underline. What does the Secretary General do? Number one, he organizes conferences. He makes correspondences. He drafts the reports. He prepares the budget estimates. Also prepares treaties and appoints staff of the UN Secretariat. So if you will see very closely, they have given you the short form of it. They have highlighted the first words of each of the work done by the Secretary General. So can one person tell me what does the Secretary General do? Number one.
Ma'am, ma'am, he's the chief administrator of the United Nations.
Okay. No, what are the duties carried out by them? What do they do?
Is the to make conference.
Very good. To organize conferences, not make. Okay, to organize conference. Number two.
Ma'am, make draft reports.
Very good. Making draft reports. Number three.
Ma'am, to prepare budget estimates.
To prepare budget estimates. Number four.
And treaties. To prepare treaties.
To prepare treaties and to appoint whom? The staff.
Of
And
the
you
U.
forgot one, to make correspondence. That is also their duty. If you will see conferences, correspondence, draft reports, they have the first letter in bold. And can you see the short form CCDBT? Okay, so this is how you all can remember the functions. This is how you can study even for other subjects. You know, this is the best way of studying, creating your own shortcuts to remember the whole answer. If you remember this CCDBT, you will be able to frame your own 3-line answer. Clear? Have you all understood till here, children?
Yes.
Okay. Remember, all the headquarters of UN organs are based in New York, except the International Court of Justice. Where is the International Court of Justice? Very good. Where exactly in Netherlands? Where in Netherlands? Come on.
What can you
Hague.
pronounce it?
Yes. It's pronounced as Hague. Okay. Now we will see achievements of United Nations. Now you might get a question, a brief question to explain the achievements of the United Nations. So you already know that United Nations would have a number of achievements since it has put in so much of efforts. Now let's see what are the achievements one by one. Number one, UN has not been able to prevent war, but it has taken effective actions to restore the peace. After the Second World War, the entire world was in chaotic situation. So first, number one achievement was they've had effectively restored peace in the entire world. For example, the Gulf War, the Suez Canal War, the Korean War. So these are the wars which UN was not able to prevent, but they made sure that peace was restored. Number two, countries, please underline the examples as well. Children, wherever required, please give examples even in your exams. The more examples you all give, the more tendency you have to get out of marks. So always remember this. Number two, countries like Indonesia, Algeria, Morocco have achieved independence with the support of UN. So this is the one of the most important achievement of UN, that these countries, they were able to achieve independence only because of the support of UN. Please underline the support of UN. That's important. So UN supported them to achieve independence. That's also important. Next, the UN played a significant role in challenging the apartheid policy and liberating the South African people from the apartheid rule, as it imposed economic sanctions against the South African government. Who will tell me what do we mean by this policy?
Apartheid policy.
Yes.
Ma'am, it means that the racial discrimination between the whites and the blacks.
Okay. Okay. So UN was successful, and where do we have maximum racial discrimination in which country? South Africa. Yes or no? Yes. Do you all agree with this? So they were. See, UN had played a very significant role in challenging this policy. Okay, in South Africa. Fourth point, UN actively and hard to end the nuclear arms race and to encourage the use of nuclear energy for peaceful purpose. Okay, so UN made sure that the nuclear arms race is being discouraged. And what did they encourage for? Using nuclear energy. Okay, instead of arms, UN promoted the use of nuclear energy. Next, the UN also achieved great success in number one, fighting issues like poverty, labor, education and welfare of children, ignorance, malnutrition, and various diseases through its agencies. So it did not just focus on maintaining peace and harmony throughout the world, but it also focused on fighting with these issues. Issues such as poverty, education, welfare of the child, malnutrition, diseases, etc. Clear? Clear till here, everyone? See, this is very important. The UN and its agencies supply vaccines all over the world. Were you all aware about it? For example, they have given you the example over here. Can you see this is something which is related to the current situation? Who will read the example? Yes, Priyanshu, can you read the example?
Yes, ma'am. For example, as of September 2021, the UN's partnership with Gavi had led to 5.5 billion doses of the COVID-19 vaccine being administered worldwide.
Worldwide. So what an important role did UN play, during this crisis situation. And September 2021 is not far, right? Yes or no? We have just recently faced this situation. And we are still facing it. All right, next. Major agencies of United Nations. So till here we had studied all about United Nations. Now we will study about the agencies of United Nations. Okay, now let's see which are the different agencies of United Nations. A number of specialized agencies have been established to achieve one primary objective of UN. Okay, so UN had the objective. What is the objective of UN? To solve social, economic, cultural, humanitarian problems through international cooperation. Okay, not just focusing one country and giving preference to one country, but making sure that and throughout the world, in each of the country, this is their primary object. And to achieve this objective, they had created different specialized agencies. Okay, please underline a number of specialized agencies was established. So you know why it was established? For their primary objective. What was their objective, children? What was the objective of the primary objective of UN? Am I audible to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what was the primary objective of the UN?
And the primary objective of the UN is to solve all the humanitarian problems like economic, social, and cultural with the help of international cooperation.
Okay, so that's the reason to achieve this purpose. What did UN do? To achieve this purpose, what did UN do?
They established a number of specialized
agencies. Okay, now these agencies work under the supervision of UN Economic and Social Council in the interest of human welfare. So please underline UN Economic, Social and Welfare, Economic and Social Council for the welfare of human beings. Clear? So now we will see which are the different agencies. Number one is UNESCO. Have you heard about UNESCO? What is it? See, you will get a question, objective question based upon this. Okay, they might give you the just the word, and they will ask you to give the entire meaning of it. UNESCO is what? What do we mean by UNESCO?
United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization.
Very good. So UNESCO is United Nations, underline that, Scientific and Cultural Organization. You will get it for objective type questions. When was this agency established? Which year?
1945.
Very good, 1945. And where is the headquarter of UNESCO?
Paris.
Paris. Very good, very good. Next, Tansa will answer. UNICEF. What do we mean by UNICEF?
The United Nations Children's Emergency Fund.
Okay, the United Nations Children's Emergency Fund. Please underline this. And when was this established?
1946.
1 year. Yes, 1 year. Okay. And where is the headquarter of
New
UNICEF?
York.
New York. Very good. Next is WHO. That is World Health Organization. I hope everybody is aware about it. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
And when was this established?
1948.
1948. And where is the headquarters?
Geneva.
Geneva. Okay, please underline. Next, now we are going to study about each of these agencies in detail. Okay, let's start with UNESCO. United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization was established in 1945 with the headquarters in Paris. This is important. The main objective of UNESCO is to contribute peace and security in the world by promoting collaborations among nations through what? Through education, through science, through culture, and through communication. Please underline main objective of UNESCO also, so you know what you have to write. Yes. So what is the main objective of UNESCO? Who will tell me? What is the main objective of UNESCO? Yes, Tansa? Yes, Tansa? Am I audible? Children, am I audible to you all? Okay. What is the main objective of UNESCO?
The main objective of UNESCO is to contribute to peace and security around the world.
And how are they going to contribute to the peace and security?
Ma'am, by
So,
promoting
by
educating
among
people's mind.
nations through education.
Ma'am, by
By-
educating
and-
people's mind.
By collaborating with the nations and by educating them, right? They're going to collaborate with different nations. They're going to educate them. They're going to have converse communication with them, right? This is how they're going to, this is their objective. Now let's see how are they, what functions they are doing to achieve their objectives. Okay, in terms of education, what things they are doing. Let's see. Number one, removal of illiteracy. Please underline. They will make sure in terms of education, they will remove illiteracy. They will encourage adult education, distance education, and open school system. So if you are quite aware about the university system, we do have IGNOU, right? For the students, you know, who are unable to attend regular classes, they can also apply for it and they can complete the education. All right. Second, emphasis on education of women and girls. Third, giving financial assistance to whom? To the children and with disabilities. So if you remember, if you know, I don't know whether you all are aware about it or not, but if there is any child have physical disability, or whether it is colleges, they can fill that form and they can avail the concession in their fee structures. So this facility is there only for the disabled, even not just related with fees concessions. They get this, the help of getting grades also. For example, if an open category child scores 90, then we will consider it as a first class. But if it is a disabled child, even if the child is scoring 60%, he is giving the first class position. All right, so that is also considered. The ranking is also done on the basis of disabilities. Now, provision of grants and fellowship for teachers. This is very important. Do you know that you students have lots of scholarships, fellowships, right? Have you all, are you all aware about the children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Raj. Okay, for teachers, for scholars, for organization of library systems, and for promotion of international understandings. So these are the basic, functions which the UNESCO is doing in terms of education. Okay, when it is considered with education. Clear? Clear everyone till here? Next is scientific activities. It organizes seminars and conferences of scientists of various countries and circulates published information. Okay, so what is it doing? It is organizing seminars, it is organizing conferences of scientists of various countries and publishing the information so that everybody is aware about it. Next is promotes basic research in the field of geology, mathematics, physics, and oceanography. Okay, so they are providing research in these fields, okay, in the fields mentioned below. Next, preservation of cultural heritage. Now, what before I go on with this, let me just discuss in terms of education, what functions is UNESCO playing? What does it do? Let's see who all remembers.
Education.
Okay, yes,
Ma'am,
education.
education for adults and women's.
Very good. And what else? And what
Ma'am,
else?
help them financially.
Very good. Helping the disabled students financially. Very good. What else? What else? Yes, Raj.
I'm providing them with scholarships and other services.
Very good. Providing them with scholarships. All right. Now, next, your next point was in terms of, can you just scroll down, please? In terms of scientific research, what things the UN, what functions the UN is playing scientifically? Number one, what is it doing? It is conducting
Seminars.
very good seminars and conferences with whom?
Scientists of
Yes,
various
scientists
countries
of different
and
nations. Yes, very good. What is the second function they do?
Ma'am, research on oceanography,
Yes.
chemistry, and all.
geology.
Yes, very good, very good. Okay, next is the third point is preservation of cultural heritage. Encourage modernization without the loss of cultural identity. So this is their basic principle, that they are definitely going to encourage modernization, but they are also going to keep in mind that the cultural identity is not lost. Okay, so in that case, what the first function they're doing is it is providing technical advice and assistance, equipments and funds for the preservation of monuments and other works of art. So they are not just giving technical advice, they are also providing equipments and funds to make sure that the monuments are preserved. Okay, so this shows that they are also going to make sure that the cultural identity is not lost. Second, aims to protect world inheritance of books, works of art and rare manuscripts. So all these are protected by whom? By the preservation of cultural heritage under UNESCO. Okay, rare manuscripts. I hope you all know what are manuscripts. You all must have studied in grade 6. Yes. All right. Next is encouragement to artistic creations in literature and fine arts. So they are not just they are also encouraging artistic creations in literature as well as in fine arts. Next, promotes cultural development through films. So this is how they are promoting cultural development. So what medium they are using? It is through films. Last point, send cultural missions to different countries for promoting peace and prosperity. Cultural missions are being sent to different countries with the intention of promoting peace and prosperity. Clear everyone to you about UNESCO?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So I'll stop here for for this period. You all can take 5 minutes break. Then we'll come back and continue with the same. All right. So join after 5 minutes.